Well, they don't really have a choice at our house.
Travel teams?
Right, right. It's so yeah, you gotta do something. So pick. So, um, the older two did, the younger two don't or haven't. So yeah, yeah, just kind of roll back over into the other. Yeah, the older two did. My daughter really liked it. But, yeah, it's a commitment. You know, the waxing of the skis is getting in the wax room and stuff is always an adventure. So yeah. Do your kids do? Do you guys do some cross country skiing?
When I did
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, okay, cool.
so nice. Yeah. Oh, good, good. That would be great. Is he trained out?
I've like way back before we even moved to Maple Grove. Yeah, but not recently. I think it was. I think back when I was doing it, my problem was I had skis maybe that weren't really a bit too rigid. So, and I was like a pretty small kid, so I couldn't really get get them down into the ground. So.
Really nervous because the first one came. Like she went the wrong direction. She had no clue. And then she kind of figured it out. Her speeds are going. And then the other two are doing well. She is. I know, yeah. I don't know if y'all like the other weeks so far. No. But I didn't power it on either. Sometimes I have to unplug it.
Good evening. The regular meeting of the Independent School District 279 School Board is called to order at 6:10 p.m. on November 18th, 2025. The regular business meeting of the Osseo School Board is being conducted in the boardroom of the Educational Service Center. The meeting can be monitored electronically by streaming online from the district website. An archived recording of tonight's meeting will also be available on the district website. Seated in front of you this evening, from my left and your right, are Director Kelsey Dawson, Director Erica Foster, Director Thomas Brooks, myself, Board Chair Tanya Prince, Director Keith Tate, and Director Sarah Mitchell. Also present in the boardroom is Superintendent Dr. Kim Heil and members of the Superintendent's Cabinet. Those of you who can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Foster, will you please lead the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, are there any additions to the amended agenda? Is there a motion to accept the amended agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Director Foster. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Brooks. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The motion passes 6-0. Our next standing agenda item is recognitions. We have no recognitions this evening, but we know we will definitely as the year goes on. We have two presentations this evening. The fiscal year-end financial audit results. We'll start with that one. John Morstead, Executive Director of Finance and Operations, will lead off the presentation. John.
All right, thank you, Chair Prince, school board members, and Superintendent Heil. Tonight, our independent auditor will be presenting the fiscal year 2025 audited financial statements. We shared the preliminary financial results with the board at the September meeting, and those results have not changed. I would like to welcome Jim Eichten from L.B. Carlson, who will be presenting the audit report this evening. Jim?
Thank you, John. Again, my name is Jim Eichten. I'm with L.B. Carlson CPAs. I'm here this evening to present the audit results for the year ended June 30th, 2025. First and foremost, you might recognize I am with L.B. Carlson, which is a new firm. I was previously with MMKR. Most of our firm is now merged with with L.B. Carlson, and we're a similar team and same people, but with greater resources, which is exceptional for the district. But nothing really has changed from that standpoint. My role this evening is to provide a presentation of the audit results for the year ended. It is the role of the auditor to provide an opinion on the district's financial statements. The district is required by law, by the state auditor's office, as well as the Minnesota Department of Education, to prepare an annual financial statement. The district also provides and completes what's called the annual comprehensive financial report, which is submitted to the Association of School Business Officials for recognition for achievement in excellence in financial reporting. The financial report you'll find that was issued, it's about 180 pages long, so there's a lot of information, great information that provides only information for the current year, but also historical information as well. It goes back to 10 years in many financial data. The role of the auditor is also to provide opinions on the district's internal controls, specifically over financial reporting, as well as the state of Minnesota is requiring us to provide an audit of your compliance with state laws and regulations. There is a list of the laws that we audit, which is provided by the Office of the State Auditor, so we provide under their guidance. We are also, as part of our audit process, required to audit the district's federal awards that you received. This particular year, we have not issued that particular report to date. The reason being is the federal government has not completed official guidance on those audit practices and audit plans. There's delays in issuing that guidance. So I'm unable to issue opinions as of this particular moment, and when issued, we will certainly provide those to the board and provide the results of the single audit of federal awards when available. So in the audit results, we did provide information in what's called the management report. The management report is my document that provides the results in a format that you could read and understand the audit results without actually me providing them to you verbally. What I'm going to go through this evening is really kind of touch on the high points of that management report to give you some sort of sense as to the audit results for the year. So first and foremost, when you look at the audit results, we were able to issue unmodified opinions on the basic financial statements on that annual report that I referenced. An unmodified opinion is a clean opinion. It was a good opinion, the opinion you were looking for from a positive nature coming into this process. The audit opinion does highlight there was an implementation of a governmental accounting standard, a GASB. This is probably the third, if not fourth year that you've had to implement government accounting standards or new ones, and certainly that is highlighted in your opinion that was a success and has been recognized in the report accurately. I mentioned the internal controls. We did not have any findings to report in that area this year. And then I mentioned the Minnesota Legal Compliance Audit. There were no instances of non-compliance this year to be reported. So all in all, there were no findings to report in the audit this year, which is exactly the result that you would hope for as part of the audit process. My management report goes through a number of other areas. It is important to understand in an audit of this nature that there were estimates used in the process, estimates that come from the Minnesota Department of Education, which are subject to audit on their part, and certainly the staff and team here would report if there were any changes in those estimates used. I also like to report there weren't any challenges in the audit process this year. We did not have any difficulties. Things went very smooth as they typically do. In my audit report, we do provide some comparative information on financial results for the year, information on statewide data, some trend information, some statewide information on revenues and expenditures. And we also get into financial trends specific to the district, which is this graph you'll see here. This graph shows the district's general fund for the year's financial position. It references cash and fund balance as a representation of the district's equity position, its financial well-being, and the green line is a graph of the expenditures, which is provided to give a sense for how much the district is growing and how much it's increasing its overall volume of activity. And as you can see in that particular presentation, the district is showing an increase in fund balance for the year. The results for the year show an increase in fund balance, as you can see in that particular graphical presentation. Also, the presentation does show some stability, significant stability in the district. You can see that that particular yellow graph, which is the financial position of the district, is very similar for the last 10 years and shows very stable financial results year after year after year, which is certainly our experience in working with the district. We do provide individual information on the individual fund balances. This is information that's in my report. This particular presentation does show some information on fund balances as a percentage of expenditures. That particular ratio is widely used as a representative of financial well-being in your general fund. The district has a fund balance policy that has strives to maintain a minimum of fund balance at a certain level. This particular financial results do show adherence to that fund balance policy that you have in place. One item of note that you should note on that particular presentation that stands out to me anyway, there is a part of the fund balance that has been assigned this year. You can see that the assigned number did increase significantly to roughly about $23 million number. What that increase is about is you're assigning fund balances for next year's budget. There was an adopted budget for next year that does report a deficit in fund balance spend, and that particular amount has been set aside and is an assigned fund balance in that presentation. My audit results do show some other information on revenues and expenditures. These graphical presentations do provide some information on budget to actual results and really growth in various areas. I'm not going to get into a ton of details on these particular graphical presentations, but I will state this. We as an auditor, or I as an auditor, look for adherence to the budget. How did the financial results mimic what the budget projected at the time it was issued? And certainly the audit results do provide that information, a sense for that. The overall revenues in the general fund were projected to be about $367 million, which is a significant operation, and final results were about $1.3 million less than that, or actually in this case over that, which is about 4.4% of the overall volume of activity, which is exceptional, frankly, from when you look at the amount of projecting that's going into how much revenue you're going to have. Why I bring this up? Why is that meaningful? Well, the board is making decisions on a constant basis based on that budget that you're receiving. You're making financial decisions. The administration is making decisions. And if the audit doesn't hold true to that particular budget, it's really challenging for the district. So I stand here to state that this year's audit results held true to that. Those results held true to that budget that was put forth in front of you at that time. We also provide some information on general fund operating account expenditures. Expenditures did complete the year about $8 million less than final budgeted amounts. There was some open positions as well as unused budget capacity that relates to most of that under budget amount. There was some under budgeted amounts in other areas like transportation and curriculum, those kind of things. But all in all, the financial results did, as I mentioned, adhere to the budget presented. The district has a number of other funds presented in this report. There is a food service fund. There's a capital account, as you can see on my presentation, a food service revenue, a community service fund. Again, all of these funds are showing good financial results, stable environments, and monies available to be used for future budget projections and future budget spending. the district, I don't have a presentation on this, the district has also provided and established a couple of other funds represented in internal service funds where money is set aside to pay for future retirement incentives and for other post-employment benefit funds. All of those funds are in solid financial condition and are really looking out for the future of the district to pay for and set aside funds for those future obligations of the district in a meaningful and strategic manner. I'll move on from the financial results. Certainly, as I mentioned so far, the audit results were exceptional. No findings to report. The financial results were also exceptional as well. I do report in my report that there is and continues to be more governmental accounting standards changes. I do highlight that in my report. The finance staff and the team here at the district is well aware of some of these changes, and we'll see those again next year. So I think that's the end of my presentation. So in summary, I was able to issue a clean opinion on those financial statements. As I mentioned, we did not have any findings to report. I will follow up with you on the financial results of the single audit of federal awards at a future date when available. I mentioned some of the changes in fund balances as well as adherence to the general fund balance policy that you have. There were other operating fund balances which are also very stable in a good place. You also implemented new accounting standards which are also required. But lastly, I wanted to say this, and this is very important. The district is and has always been committed to the audit process and the success of this particular process. They're always ahead of the curve when it comes to meeting my demands and my needs as an audit process, and with that comes successful audit results like this. It might sound obvious or simple, but it doesn't always look like that. So I commend the district for their commitment to this process as well as the results of this evening. So with that, I'll turn it over to you for questions that you might have for me.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions or comments? So we're in a very beneficial position to hear this year over year. And of course, we have regular updates on our financial throughout the year from our finance team. Of note, during the course of your presentation, I heard these words repeatedly: excellent, exceptional, commitment, results, and success. So thank you for you and your team's work. Thank you to our financial leadership and all of our leaders who make the decisions in partnership with finance that result in these outcomes for our district. I know many of our finance leaders are leaders themselves in their profession and in their professional organizations, as well as our cabinet members. So thank you for the excellence that you bring to this process that results in these outcomes. So thank you very much. Okay. The next presentation is the Aspen Ridge Elementary School logo mascot, presented by Kay Valilla, Executive Director of Community Relations. Kay.
Superintendent Heil, Chair Prince, and members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to share our next fun step with Aspen Ridge Elementary School tonight, the logo and mascot. In our last conversation, we talked about our future Aspen Ridge students and families having a part in this logo and mascot process. So tonight, I'll be talking about how that went and then be sharing the new logo. We'll be doing a little unveiling tonight. So a little bit about the overall process. Students and families were first welcomed to share their ideas with our district team digitally. We did this through a thought exchange that was emailed and texted out. A few weeks after this was out, we connected with the team at Fernbrook Elementary, and they helped gather a few students that would potentially be going to Aspen Ridge based on their address. And in that group, we had 2 students from each grade level, kindergarten through 5th grade, so a group of 12. They too shared their ideas with Principal Smith and myself. This was done through 2 meetings at Fernbrook. Once the second process concluded, district leadership approved a final direction, which included Superintendent Heil, Assistant Superintendent Flisk, and our community relations and publication teams. All the student and family feedback shared helped to determine this final direction. So meeting with students. So before I started talking about our work with students, I want to point out a few of these wonderful helpers in the crowd tonight. If you could please stand. We have a few tonight with us. So let's talk a little more about our work with students. In our first meeting with students, we talked about what a logo was and the importance of it, how it becomes recognizable to those that you interact with. This was first done with a guessing game, and we used the Target and McDonald's logos to have that fun. After that, we looked at this image that you see on the screen, which many of the logos on here were recognized by students and had a positive reaction to them. We also spent some time going over our existing elementary logos throughout the district and landed on the fact that many are animals and a good handful are happy and approachable. You can see here on the screen, we talked about wanting to be something different if we were kind of to go in that animal direction. Then we spent some time on just what it meant by the school name. So we talked a bit about that, which I know we've talked to the board about that, what it means with regard to Aspen and Ridge. We showed some of these pictures and the reasoning really behind that final name direction that we went in. Next was color. We talked about wanting to settle on 2 to 3 colors that the school could be known for moving forward. So the first meeting, students had an open canvas. Any ideas they had, that we were drawn on blank sheets of paper. For the second meeting, the top 3 student and family ideas were shared with some possible directions. Those 3 ideas were an owl, a bear, and a coyote. CCX spent some time with us on our second meeting, so we have a little video here. I'm hoping we're going to be good. I have a backup plan, though. All right, here we go. Really want to know from you today what you like and what you don't like.
These Fernbrook Elementary School students have an assignment.
So if you go to, I think it's your third page.
What should their future school mascot be?
I have a good idea.
Most of these Fernbrook students will attend the new Aspen Ridge Elementary School next year.
Think about an owl as being the mascot of the new elementary. Do you not like that idea? Is it okay, or do you really like that idea?
They're deciding between an owl, a bear, and a coyote.
I like this owl the most, and if I could rate it, I would probably give it a 4. Mine is probably a 5.
So don't like the idea?
Yeah.
And they're helping to design a logo and pick school colors.
It's fun to go through this process.
For the school's new principal, this group activity is historic.
There's no words that can describe the excitement for it. When you think about building a school from scratch, the identity of the school is essential for our community and for our district.
Aspen Ridge Principal Patrick Smith says this will be the first new school in the district in 20 years.
It's super exciting. It's a lot of work, and the more we can get input from our community, and most importantly from our students, that's what's going to make it really genuine and a great startup for a brand new school.
So what do students like the best? Second grader Blair Herbert prefers the owl.
It just sits on a tree and stuff like that.
As for the school colors,
I kind of like the reds and then the blues and browns kind of.
fifth grader Dylan Ophoven has a reason.
I feel like they kind of go with outdoors kind of and then with the owls and then the trees.
And a good feeling to know she's playing a role in school history.
It's pretty cool.
In Maple Grove, Corey Bork, CCX News.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org.
All right, so this is the group that helped out. We had a really great time together. And now for the drum roll. Here is a new logo. It's a bear. The bear is standing in front of an aspen tree. We talked a lot about being outdoors, and that green really gets at that as well. And definitely the bear was the favorite amongst our family and our students as well. So this is the new logo. You can kind of see as we've been working with our signage, you can see it starting to come to life. And then more updates, of course, are coming, and they're going to be on digital and all the print materials that we're creating. Then once the school year kicks off, students are going to work together to help name the bear. Thank you for the opportunity to share this next exciting step with building a better future in our new elementary school, Aspen Ridge. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
But more importantly, thank you for including our students in the decision and finding creative ways to get their input. I'm excited. Thank you.
And thank you, students, for stepping up. So fun that you got to be part of this and be part of our new school. Like, it's such an exciting chapter for our district.
Yeah, I just think it's been such a fun process to watch and to be included. And we have a lot of decisions to make as a board, and some of them aren't as super fun, but this is like a bright light for sure. This is so exciting. And I see Principal Smith back there too. So this is, it'll be fun.
Can they come back and help us with budget? Yeah, wonderful. We love it. Thank you, students. Thank you, Kay, for your leadership and for everybody who participated in the process. It's great. Thank you. The next agenda item is audience opportunity to address the board. Tonight, we don't have anybody who is filled out a speaker card, but I do want to recognize that we have many teachers and staff and union members in the room, so I just want to express appreciation for being here and for communicating and representing your interests here tonight, so thank you for being here. Our next agenda item is the superintendent's report. Dr. Heil.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Chair Prince, Vice Chair Brooks, board members, and our stakeholders, and our teachers and staff in our audience today. Over the last few months, we have held several meaningful opportunities to engage with our community, each one reinforcing our commitment to ensuring that every person in Osseo area schools feels valued, heard, and seen. So this weekend's information fair was an excellent example of that commitment in action. All of our school sites and departments were represented, providing current families as well as prospective families the chance to learn more about our programs, our services, and all the opportunities available across Osseo area schools. It was really energizing to see our staff engaging with so deeply with parents and our caregivers and community members, and witness firsthand the pride that they have in the work that is happening in our buildings and in our district. This past several months, we also held a community conversation session where stakeholders and school board members, along with facilitation from district staff, came together and shared space to listen and learn from one another. Participants reflected on what is going well in our district, as well as offered to us some thoughtful insights into where we can continue to strengthen our systems, our culture, and our supports. So I do want to thank everyone who took the time to participate. And once again, your voices are essential as they guide our continuous improvement of what we need to do in our district. Additionally, we're working closely with our scholars across all grade levels to help co-develop a new student survey. This effort ensures that we're not merely collecting the data, but truly listening and creating a tool shaped by our students themselves so we better understand their needs, their experiences, and aspirations. So their leadership in this process has been impressive and inspiring. And our first one will be at Cedar Island tomorrow, where we'll have over 60 students working with us and helping to develop those questions, grades K through 5. K through 5, Dr. Bass? 4, 5, I got that wrong, 4, 5, okay. So our next opportunity we're exploring is for our high school students, which came as a request from some of our scholars who presented at our school board meeting. So they are asking for the creation of a process through which our scholars can earn a high school letter for community service. So this initiative not only elevates the importance of service and leadership, but also reinforces our district belief that contributions to the community are just as important and meaningful as contributions to the classroom or on the field. So as we move forward, I just want to reassure the board and our entire community that our work will continue with purpose. We remain focused on becoming the best place to work and the best place to learn, and everyone's input does truly matter. Everyone's voice helps us grow, and together we'll continue building that strong, inclusive, and supporting culture our scholars and our staff deserve. So thank you for that. So this evening, every evening, we do have Points of Pride at our board meeting. So by sharing our Points of Pride, we're taking time to recognize and celebrate our scholars, our staff, and our community members who are contributing to the mission of our district. So I have members of our district cabinet here to assist us in sharing some of those examples from last month, please.
All right, thank you, Dr. Heil. In the area of achieving dreams, last weekend, the Park Center Pirates, physically impaired adapted soccer team took home the state championship in the Minnesota State High School League Adapted Soccer Tournament. This team is comprised of athletes from all district high schools. Huge congratulations to the Pirates on their amazing season and state tournament win. At next month's meeting, we will hear and learn more about how all of our fall sports from across the district did in their state competitions. Last month, the District 279 Foundation held the 15th annual Reading is Fun 5K. The family-friendly event brought in $10,000 in donations to support media centers and Osseo area schools. Participants enjoyed warm-ups before the 1K and 5K led by jazzercise instructors, a mascot race, a 1K race around the track, and cheers from Park Center Senior High School's cheerleaders at the start and finish line. In the area of contributing to community, a number of community businesses and organizations joined forces recently to lead donation drives that brought in nearly 1,800 winter jackets and 800 pairs of snow pants for students in need across Osseo area schools. These businesses and organizations have joined together to run this donation drive for the past 10 years. And this year they donated almost 1,800 winter jackets, I just said that, and 800 pairs of snow pants. With all years combined, the organizations have donated just under 10,000 jackets and just under 5,000 pairs of snow pants.
The last week of October, students and staff at Osseo Middle School participated in a non-perishable food drive and Spirit Week that collected a total of 3,127 food items for the Cross Food Shelf, as well as a $3,523 donation. Dress-up days included Spirit Week, Twin Day, Neon Out, Dress Your Best Day, and Costume Day. In the area of lifelong learning, Osseo area schools celebrated Veterans Day across the district on November 11th. Veterans, current service members, and their families were invited to attend Basswood Elementary School's all-school assembly. The fifth grade chorus, led by music teacher Cindy Stearns, sang songs such as Star Spangled Banner and You're a Grand Old Flag. Students, staff, and visitors heard from Master Sergeant Jeremy Malchow and the Assistant Coordinator of Facilities for the district about his experience serving. The Osseo Maple Grove American Legion presented the Color Guard, accompanied by the Minnesota Firefighters' pipes and drums. Maple Grove Middle School social studies teacher Shelby Weber invited veterans into her classroom on Veterans Day to share about their experiences serving in the United States military and answer student questions about their service. Oakview Elementary School parent Gino Ferracci, a veteran from the United States Army, came to the school and visited several classrooms during Veterans Day. Dressed in his Army fatigues, he told his story of deciding to join the Army after the events of September 11th, 2001, and shared about his military experience with students. At Osseo Middle School, students sold flags, donating the proceeds to the local VFW. Students also spent the morning and afternoon of Veterans Day in front of the school building, waving flags and holding up signs thanking veterans.
Second graders in Angela Kettner's class at Rush Creek Elementary School recently headed outside to enjoy outdoor learning on a beautiful fall day at their new outdoor classroom, built during the summer's Building a Better Future construction phase. Students practiced science and math skills while examining and measuring various plants and their roots, creating leaf rubbings with leaves they found on the ground, and reading books from the library. Fourth grade students at Zanewood Community, a STEAM school, got to try their hand at archery recently when the community partners from Three Rivers Park District came in to give lessons to students in small groups. The students received training and safety instructions before each got to take several turns at the target. In the area of mission-driven employees, at Fernbrook Elementary School, special education teacher Sarah Fries has worked with students for 3.5 years, creating a supportive learning environment with individualized instruction to help her students succeed. Fries said, "It's always something different. I have different kids in my caseload and I'm always working with different kids. It's always something that is unique and as individualized and different for every student. It is fun to see how much they grow as they start getting that support or figure out something that they are interested in." Check out our latest staff spotlight on the district website.
So we have a few final notes and reminders for tonight. There will be no school for students November 26th through 28th, and that also includes our building staff. It's okay to do this. As mentioned earlier, we also held our first community conversation on November 5th. School board members, along with facilitation by district leaders, will host 2 more of those community conversations this school year, which will be on February 3rd and May 12th. So all are welcome to attend. So to learn more about this visit, osceolaschools.org/community conversations. So once again, in wrapping up, as usual, we always thank our parent and guardians for allowing us the opportunity to teach their children, and thank you to our teachers for being available to teach our scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Heil. Our next agenda item is school board reports. Director Dawson, do you have a report or update?
I have a couple. I attended the Tribal Nations Education Committee all-day professional development conference with district leadership, including our Indian Ed team and APEC members. And really the purpose was to hear from other districts, their learnings and just different strategies to overcoming different challenges, and just really building meaningful partnerships and what that looks like with our American Indian students and our APEC members. I think one of the things that really stuck out to me was that they're starting to look really at the intersection between the academics, behavior, and attendance, and so I'm really looking forward to what comes of that and what that looks like for us in our district. And then our RISE committee met last month, and that's Radically Investing Scholars Excellence. We really focus on our culture and climate and identity and belonging and what that looks like, and really what our goals are for this year, and then what practices can strengthen that, and then how to encourage and increase our membership. So for all of you watching or listening to this or in the audience, our next meeting is this Thursday at Park Center at 5:30, so all are welcome, and we really would love even more people to attend to that. And then finally, the Metro AMSD, they had a conference focusing on just stronger outcomes and what that looks like, and there was a lot of breakouts around mental health challenges in our schools, arts education, literacy, data implementation, and then just, again, a lot of learnings from other districts and leaders in education across the state.
Director Foster, do you have a report or update?
I do. I did want to give a shout out to all the teachers that are here. It's so fun to see familiar faces and just the connection tonight. It's really cool. So thanks for being here. I had a policy committee meeting on October 7th, and we went over a batch of policies as well as our plan forward this year. I'm part of DPAC, and we met last week, I believe, yes, before work session. And we were presented a budget review by Kelly Benusa, and then also an overview of school-based public health clinic that's in the plans. And the group began discussing plans for what they want the recommendation to be. And then we also talked about what would be the best way to leverage that group and what they think from an internal perspective as a committee.
Okay, thank you. Director Brooks, do you have a report or update?
Yes, so I attended my first 279 Foundation meeting, and so that was a good opportunity to get to know that the Board of Trustees and some of the staff that support the 279 Foundation. I know I received a question at the last meeting just wanting to know more about a night out. So I do have that information for you. So a night out is being held on February 6th. The theme is in a winter wonderland. So it has a new location this year at the Mississippi Garden off of 252 and 610. So a winter wonderland, the theme is sort of like diamonds, ice, snowflakes, sparkles, winter glam is what it sounds like.
A little different from the country western theme last year.
So, and then a limited number of tickets are supposed to be available December 1st. So of course, all are welcome to attend that event. They are starting to work on just putting the pieces together to make that event happen for us. 279 Foundation does a lot of work to support our scholars by funding programs and opportunities that we're not able to cover through our budget. So appreciative of the work that they do, and I'm excited for this opportunity to raise some funds for the foundation. So.
Thank you. Director Tate, do you have a report or update?
No reports tonight.
Director Mitchell, do you have a report or update?
Yes, we had the CPAC committee meeting here November 13th, kind of went over an annual report and also an overview of our 4-year-old program offerings, and there's such a variety. Kind of fun fact, I thought this was great, that 90% of the students that attend the 4-year-old pre-K end up attending kindergarten in our district, so that's very positive. There's a little bit of a wait list there, so all those things are very positive. We also discussed adding youth on board, adding some student voice to the CPAC committee, and kind of like Kelsey said, we love more voices and perspectives, so if anyone wants to join us on a Thursday night for CPAC, you're welcome to come.
Thank you. And I do not have any report or updates this evening. The next agenda item is the consent agenda. Board members, our consent agenda items this evening include meeting minutes, financial reports, fundraisers, extended educational trips, personnel items, grants, a partnership agreement, Minnesota State High School League resolution for Park Center Senior High School, outdoor classroom bid awards for 3 elementary schools, and an open enrollment resolution. Are there any items that you would like to remove for separate consideration? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed?
So moved.
Moved by Director Mitchell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Brooks. Is there any discussion? So for the discussion, I'll point out that the resolution about open enrollment, we had a discussion on at the last work session, a good robust discussion about that. And what it means is we are continuing our closure of open enrollment at some of our schools that are at capacity, and we're also closing an open enrollment to the new elementary school. And the reason why that we have to have that closure is because we have a freeze on our district boundary change. Resulting from our district boundary change, we have a freeze on inter-district transfers. So if we don't close open enrollment, that would mean that those outside of our district would have the ability to attend this the new school, but not our own community within district transfers. So just want to mention that if there's any, you can see that it's in the packet, and you can see the last work session where we discussed that as well. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion passes 6-0. We're going to move on to our action items. The first action item is the acceptance of the fiscal year 2025 audit report. Information will be shared by John Morstead, Executive Director of Finance and Operations.
Thank you, Chair Prince. We were already blessed with the presentation from Mr. Eichten about the audit report, and the state does require that the school board take action to accept the findings of the audit report. So we would just ask you to take action on that at this time.
Is there a motion to accept the fiscal year 2025 audit report, which includes the fiscal year 2025 financial management report, the fiscal year 2025 annual comprehensive financial report, and the fiscal year 2025 special purpose report?
So moved.
Moved by Director Brooks. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Dawson. Is there any discussion?
No discussion, just again, thank you staff for making this happen once again, especially the finance staff.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes 6-0. Our next action item is the recommendation for approval of the agreement on the terms and conditions of employment between the ISD 279 School Board and Osseo Principals Association. Information will be shared by Yvonne Schwartz-Lind, Executive Director of Human Resources. Yvonne.
Thank you, Vice Chair Prince. As you indicated, we're here to recommend approval for the principal's contract for fiscal year 2026 through 2027. I want to thank the bargaining teams led by Lisa Bostic, Dr. Harris, and OPA's council, and the bargaining teams on reaching a settlement, an agreement. So the principals group is comprised of 48 employees of elementary and secondary principals. They're comprised of lead principals and also assistant principals. In terms of, and you all have, of course, the materials in the board packet, which includes the memo and the track changes contract. In terms of compensation, in year one, there is a 2.15 increase to the base salary. Year two, 2.0 increase to base salary. Language, certainly language changes, which includes language changes around salary ranges and maximums. In terms of group health insurance, district contributions were increased with the exception of the high plan. There was an increase to the 403B match district contribution and a decrease in professional development funding. Over the term of the 2-year contract, the total financial investment is $557,052, and it represents a 3.55 total package increase. With the ratification of the contract, Human Resources and Payroll would begin implementation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agreement on the terms and conditions of employment between the Independent School District 279 School Board and Osseo Principals Association, July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027? Motion by Director Brooks. Is there a second? Second by Director Tate. Is there any discussion? Again, thank you to everyone who is involved in the process in getting us to this point. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Our last action item is gifts to the district. Today, this time we have gifts totaling $62,142.50, and those are outlined in detail, and that includes even in-kind donations, so the snow pants and all of the wonderful ways that the community helps our district and our students. Is there a motion to approve gifts to the district totaling $62,152.50?
So moved.
Moved by Director Tate. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Foster. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes 6-0. The next agenda item is informational items. This evening will be the first reading of the following policies. Policy 312, assignment and transfer of principals. Policy 502, search of students' lockers, desks, personal possessions of students' person. Policy 507, corporal punishment and prone restraint. Policy 512, school-sponsored student publications and activities. Policy 544, school meals. Policy 556, release time for religious instruction. Information will be shared by General Counsel Amy Moore. Amy.
Chair Prince, thanks for everyone for sticking around for the most exciting part of the evening. So policy 312, assignment and transfer in principals. Last year we did update the procedure for 312 to reflect kind of what had been going on in the district. And in reviewing the policy for this year, we find that it's still relevant and it's utilized by the Principal Association and our Human Resources Department. So we are recommending no changes for that. Next is policy 502, search of student lockers, desks, personal possessions, and student's person. For this, we did include delineations of probable search of the different search types. So you see that in 2A, lockers and personal possessions within a locker, and then we included desks, personal possessions, students' persons, and noting that a violation occurs when students use these things. Then we added definitions. That was missing before, and we thought it would be useful for everyone to be on the same page of what does contraband mean, personal possessions, and then what does reasonable suspicion mean when we're doing those searches. So we added definitions. Next, for policy 507, corporal punishment and prone restraint. This was a policy that we updated in 2023 and 2024 with all the legislative changes. There hasn't been any additional changes in legislation, so we do recommend that there are no changes at this time needed for 2025. Next, for policy 512, school-sponsored student publications and activities. This was a new policy last year by legislation requiring school districts to have such a policy. There hasn't been any concerns or issues that have risen up in the application of this policy, so at this time we recommend no changes for 2025. And then the last policy, school meals, or not the last, but second to last. We did update this in 2023, and in consulting with our subject matter experts, they find that it's been working well. Again, no issues or concerns with its implementation, so we don't recommend any changes at this time. And then the last policy is release time for religious instruction, policy 556. With this, we did remove language that's outdated or not really implemented. So you'll see we talk about church or religious bodies incorporated under Minnesota statute. That's not something that we really look into. So since it's not what we utilize, we decided to take it out. And then we clarified with the last that what the student is responsible for in completing class assignments when they've missed something through their absence under this policy, which is related to a Minnesota state statute. And that is it for the updates. Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
Okay, board members, any questions? Okay. And as always, our policy committee meets and is open to the public. We also have on the website a link where if anybody wants to provide feedback on these policies or any other policies, that's an opportunity to do so. Thank you, Amy. Okay, at this time, the board will be taking a very brief recess. We will be reconvening for a school board property committee meeting in the forum room. The committee meeting is open to the public. The property committee consists of all members of the school board and is advised by the superintendent and other administrators, engineers, and legal advisors as needed. The meeting will not be live streamed or recorded. A report will be shared at the December regular business meeting. At the conclusion of the property committee meeting, the board will hold a session that is closed to the public pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.03 to consider labor negotiations with the following bargaining groups: RNs and LPNs, Kid Stop instructors, educational support professionals, and OSSEO administrative professionals. Is there a motion to recess the regular meeting for 5 minutes and reconvene in the forum room for the property committee meeting, followed by closed session.
So moved.
Moved by Director Dawson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Tate. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes 6-0. The meeting is recessed at 7:03 p.m. The school board meeting will adjourn at the conclusion of the closed session.
This is the principal contract cover page, 2 copies of that.